What's up, guys? It's Giovanni again, back with another video. What you're seeing here is a 2021 and a half Atlas SC with Tech V6 4Motion R-Line. There's no more blue Tiguan. My family and I, we just moved down to Florida, and before moving, my mother said, you know what? We need more space. Being down there, gonna be more adventurous with the family. We need space for the family and stuff that we're gonna be hauling. So we need something bigger. So before moving down, she traded in the Tiguan and got this. Now this was actually pretty hard to find because with all the chip shortages, they're not making as many cars as they used to. There's a low volume of cars, so this was pretty hard to find. So we snatched this up, or really she did. Snatched it up right off the truck. Fresh off the truck with only 4 miles on it. So with this video, I'm gonna just do a review as I did with mine and with the blue Tiguan, and show you guys what this one comes equipped with. So without further ado, I don't want to make this video too long. Let's start with the front, of course. Of course, you have the most obvious, the humongous new VW logo. Just a disclaimer, the car may look very clean, but it's actually kind of dirty. It's been a couple days already and it's rained and whatnot. But yes, here's the R-Line badging. You will see that throughout the car, inside and out. You have the headlight here. Right here is your turn signals. This is the cornering lights. And then this is your high and low beam. You have your daytime running lights right here. Your amber reflectors. And then right here on the side, it says IQ light. You have the chrome that follows through from the grille into the headlight on all 3 levels right here. Now with this R-Line, and for those of you that don't know, the R-Line means it's just a sportier trim to give it a more aggressive, sporty look compared to the regular ones. So really it's just R-Line badging and different rims and different front and back bumpers. We haven't done much to it. We got it in August. So obviously the only thing that's not factory is the tint. So these rims right here, they're the 20-inch rims with 255 50/20 wrapped around them. Let me go back to the front here. Right here are your sensors on the bottom. Your front sensors, parking assisting sensors. I did forget to mention, for those of you that don't know, this is the radar for the adaptive cruise control. When you have the cruise control on and you set it to whatever speed, you can set the distance that you want it to keep between you and the vehicle in front of you, and it'll adapt to the speed of the vehicle in front of you. Once that vehicle gains more speed or moves out of your way, the car will go back to the speed that you have it set to. And that works even with it all the way when it comes to a stop, and then it'll even start again. It's not just doing it while you're on the highway, it'll bring it to a stop and it'll start it. So for example, in traffic, it's seamless. You just steer basically. Pretty cool. So you do have the black roof rails up top. You do have a LED turn signal here on the mirrors with the blind spot as well. Now this one, you do have the touch keyless entry. So let me turn it off so I can show you guys, for those that don't know. Of course, if you have the key in your pocket, and this goes for all 4 doors, by the way. If you have the key in your pocket, you just hit it once and it'll lock it. If you want to hit it again, and then of course, to unlock it, you just walk back up to it and just grab the handle, and it'll unlock all 4 doors for you. Or you can change the settings in the center screen if you wanted to just unlock the driver's door and whatnot. Now please bear with me that I am still getting used to this. I just remembered the vents in the front are fully functional. You can see it right through there, right here. They are fully functional in the front. To the back over here, you have the chrome that wraps around. You also have the IQ lighting back here as well. Not sure if you guys can see it. So right here, this is actually all full LED. So this right here is the turn signal. That's the reverse light. This does light up at night. I will do a night video as well. You guys will see that this lights up, but this portion is just the brake light. It says Atlas right there in the middle. Trying to think of anything else before I head inside the car. I think that was pretty much it. Pretty much explained everything. All right, so let's head inside then. So this is a captain's chairs one. That's an extra on it. It doesn't have bench seats. Does have a 3rd row, of course. Now with the 2021 and a halves, there is small differences, small details. One being this right here with the stitching. Usually you would see this in higher trims and in the top trims, but for the halves, they put them in the lower trims. I'm not sure if it was with the R-Line trim package or the SE with Tech package that you get the stainless steel step plates right there. It did come with these monster mats. With the R-Line, you do get the pedals, the stainless steel pedals right here. With the R-Line, you also get the R-Line steering wheel. Basically, it's just the R-Line badging there in the middle and the perforation in the steering wheel. If I'm not mistaken, in all the trims, they are leather wrapped. but with the R-line you get the perforation here on the sides. It does have automatic headlights. Here's your mirror controls. They are heated. They're just built into the defroster button there in the middle. Usually on older cars they put the logo right there to let you know that they're heated mirrors and you can turn it off and on, but it's already built in, so they just took that logo out there. All four windows are automatic up and down. There's your lock button right here. Got some storage down there. Here's the button for the automatic tailgate. You can open and close it from there as well. To open it, you just lift it up, and to close it, you lift it up and you hold it all the way until it's closed. So let's start up top before I get in. It does come with the LED lighting from the factory. That's not aftermarket. This is the HomeLink frameless mirror that they have, which I think is pretty cool. Has the 3 buttons there for the garage door opener underneath it. The car is not on right now. Let me see. Let me see if it comes on. There, right there in the top right corner, you can see the compass. You have some storage up top there, and it's rubberized, so anything you put in there wouldn't be sliding around and jumping around as you're driving. You have some stitching there on the top, on the dash. Forgot to mention they are, if I'm not mistaken, 8-way. They go back and forth. You can move the up and down position for the front and for the back part of the seat. And then of course you could recline the seat. All the headrests of course are adjustable. All right, let's step inside now. Of course, push to start. For those that you don't know about it, just put your foot on the brake and you hit the button to start. So right here you have your center screen. Has pretty packed with information, useful information, and customization. Usually we just leave it on the speedometer. Easier to read that way. Just go through the vehicle information, range, and the economy, the oil temperature. You could have it set to a speed warning to let you know if you're set a speed that you don't want to exceed, and if you are exceeding it, it'll let you know. Distance is the distance that you've traveled recently, and then the range of course is what you're down to with the gas. Let me put it back on speed. I'm using these buttons here, by the way, to control this. So this, you change what category you're in, and then the up and down buttons is what you can switch what you see in that category. So I was just in driving data. This is assistant system, so that's just ACC, automatic cruise control. When you have it on, you can set the distance by using this button, because this is where all your cruise control settings are. Use this button to set the distance, and each block is 1 car length. We usually leave it on 2 car lengths, and then you can just turn that back off. I'll go back to the cruise control in a second. Just want to finish this side first. Your compass, it'll show you a atlas there in the middle and the compass surrounding it. Audio, if you have it connected to Bluetooth, it'll show you what you're playing, the phone calls you're on, and whatnot. With CarPlay, unfortunately, it doesn't show you any information. It just says that it's connected to CarPlay when it is. Right now, it's not, because I'm making this video. So you have the cell phone category as well, where you could easily dial people if you want to go through contacts and whatnot through there. This is the category where it lets you know whatever information that you might need to know. So right now it's just saying that the start-stop system is available. And back to driving data. So the start-stop system, the button is right here to turn that on and off. For those that don't know, the start-stop is when you are at a stop sign, when you're at a light, the car will shut off to save you gas, and then it's the slightest bit that you let off the brake, it will turn back on. So if you don't want that, you hit that button and you turn it off. Unfortunately, there is no permanent off button. You would have to hit that button every time you turn on the car, because it's just going to default to turning back on. So with the cruise control, the on and off button is right there. Of course, resume, decelerate, accelerate. Of course, this is the button I showed you earlier to show you how many car lengths you want in front of you, the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. You set the speed right here, and this button is a quick button to get to all your assistance systems. So of course, right there you have the ACC, then regular cruise control if you want to not have it with the it controlling the distance. If you just want regular cruise control, side assist is when you're backing up out of a parking spot. If it senses that a vehicle or something is coming towards you and you're not paying attention, it will warn you, and if you're still not paying attention and you're still moving, it'll actually stop the car for you. Rear traffic is, actually I got it backwards. Side assist is the blind spot. Rear traffic is what I just told you about, if you're backing up out of a parking spot and a vehicle is coming towards you. Then front assist is the sensor in the front, the same sensor that controls the automatic cruise control. It also will detect objects, vehicles, or persons. If you're approaching it and it's stopped and you're not stopping, it'll stop the car for you. So it works in both ways, going forward and in reverse. Obviously, going in reverse, it'll only work up to a certain speed. And going forward, I think it'll only work after 15 miles an hour, I believe. Something around that. So, of course, you have as you can see, the time, the compass in the middle. That A right here with the line in it is the stop-start. Right now, that's telling me that it's not available when that's on there. And then, of course, all the way to the right where you see the P is the gear you're in. And then on the bottom, your regular miles on the left and your trip on the right. To reset the trip, that's this button right here in the middle. I forgot to mention, now that I look, there is some storage down here. And the steering wheel is completely adjustable. It goes up and down, and it telescopes as well. So yeah. Now I'm going to start with the climate control really quick, and then we'll move to the infotainment. Right here you have the automatic climate control. Your typical controls here. I'm pretty sure most people know what these things do. This just gives you the menu right here on the screen, because you can access that through that button, obviously, or if you're in the menu here, you'll see it says climate control. So you adjust the speed with this. You have the heated seats, 3-level heated seats on both sides for the driver and the passenger. This is your temperature control. I have it in sync, so I could do the same temperature on both sides. But if the passenger wants a different temperature, they could change it, of course, and the drivers will stay at whatever the driver wants. But I just like to leave it on sync. This button you don't see very common in any car. This is actually a feature where when you turn off the car and you hit this button, see right now it won't turn on because the car is on. If you have the car off and you hit this button, it'll turn on and it'll recirculate the cool air or hot air, whatever you already had in the car. Now obviously it won't be using the AC if you have the AC, but whatever temperature you had it at, whatever cool air or hot air is already in the cabin before you got out of the car, it'll keep recirculating that to prolong it. And for example, obviously in the summer you have the AC on, it'll keep that cool air for as long as possible in the car. Down here you have the Type C. That's one of the differences, one of the things they added. Basically the 21.5s were more technology upgrades, and that is one of them, where in the regular 21s it was still USB-A. With the 21.5 you're gonna get the C. Of course you have your 12 volt. Also down here, I'm not sure if you could see it in the rubberized part right here, it shows you the logo for wireless charging to let you know it does have wireless charging. I believe with the 21.5s that did come standard. So yeah, you could just throw your phone right there and it'll wirelessly charge your phone. Of course, only if your phone comes capable with it. And if it does, just throw it right there and it'll charge. Pretty cool. With that being said, there is wireless Apple CarPlay. So it is very convenient to just throw your phone there and have your phone already connected to the Apple CarPlay and everything. As soon as you start up the car, everything connects and whatnot. I'm wondering if... Okay, I'm gonna move the car because I think these guys might want to put this boat in here. So I'm just gonna move it over here. Okay, sorry about that. So yes, back to over here. You have your cup holders, obviously. This you might not be able to see it now, but this does light up. You might be able to see that the P right here is a little bit brighter than what this shows. Of course, you have your button here to start and stop it. This is your electronic parking brake. Just lift that up to activate it, and then to turn it off, you have to put your foot on the brake and push that down, and it'll turn off. This is your parking monitoring system. So if you're in park or in drive, whatever, and you want to see how close you are to something or how close something is to you, just hit this button, and it'll show you right here the backup camera along with the monitors and how close something is to you. So obviously right now there's nothing around me, but if something were to be closer to the vehicle, it'll show you in, you know, a bar. At first, if I believe it starts out green, then it gets yellow, and then red obviously when you get close. And with that, it also gives you an audible warning as well. Right here, you can close this if you don't want to see this. Then this is the regular default setting view of the camera in the back. If you hit this will show you the parking, the areas where it thinks it'll fit. Right here is a top-down view, so you see the bumpers right here, and it'll show you a view so you can see, for example, if you're putting a trailer on, this will give you a better view of how to line it up and whatnot. And then here is a more wide view, so you could see, you know, from a farther distance from the left and from the right. And then of course right here is just your settings for your brightness and whatnot. Now I don't know if you have noticed, but every time I lift up my finger, I'm not touching it, it has a sensor right here along the bottom, and it senses when you raise your hand to it, it'll pop up with, you know, whatever settings and whatnot. What does this one do again? Okay, yes, this one just shows you, if you don't want to see the backup camera, you just want to see the distance in the front or in the back, you can hit that button that was here, and it'll give you this. If you want to go back, you just hit that button again. So yes, let me turn that off. To turn that back off, you just hit the button again, of course. Right here is your 4Motion, your all-wheel drive. So right here, you turn this and it'll give you, you know, snow mode, you know, on-road, off-road, and then off-road custom. Then if you hit this button here in the middle, it'll give you economy, normal mode, sport mode, and then custom mode. So I'm gonna hit the modes. We usually leave it on eco, but you can see it right there. You could keep hitting it, or you could use the screen and you could change it to sport, custom, and then you adjust it there in custom. We usually just leave it on eco. And then if you turn this, driving off-road, off-road custom, and then we go all the way to the left and it gives you snow. Obviously we just leave it on normal, on-road. That's pretty much it with the all-wheel drive. Now this is your regular menu. When you see this little hand right here, that's showing you that you could also use your hand to change the page. Now I'm not sure why I just made that noise, because it didn't do that before. I'm gonna have to go in the settings and see what happened there, see if I can turn that off. But yes, you could do this with the menu or with the radio, you know, going through your presets and whatnot. So of course, you guys know, most people know how a radio works. You have your presets right there. You can change your source there, station list. Now you see how it went down? When you lift up your hand, it'll show you what everything is. So that way it gives it a more cleaner look when you're not actually, you know, needing to look for something on the screen. It'll just show you what you need to see. So yeah, so you can just change through the stations with this, or you could slide like this. You have a couple presets. I don't really listen to the radio, so I don't know how many. 36 presets. So, yep. And then your station, tune, alerts, and then your settings for your radio. Back to the menu. You have your media. This is if you have it connected through Bluetooth. We don't have it connected through Bluetooth because we just use Apple CarPlay. I don't recommend that you do have them both connected at the same time. Before moving to Florida, I did work at a Volkswagen dealership, and we would have customers come in complaining that their CarPlay isn't working, or their Bluetooth isn't working properly, or not at all. And it's because it was connected to their Bluetooth and their CarPlay at the same time. So you have to use either or, because once you have them both connected, whether the CarPlay is through wired or wireless, and then you have the Bluetooth connected, it tries to fight, you know, it's trying to decide which one it should use, and it gets confused and it doesn't work properly. So I suggest you connect to either or and not both. So yes, this is just the Bluetooth. I haven't played much with it, so I don't know if there's any extra features. There might be some features that I don't know about with the Bluetooth part. I do know that you do have more controls with the Bluetooth, as far as saying, hey, Volkswagen. And of course it doesn't work. She listens when she wants to. If you do say, hey, Volkswagen, it should pop up with the assistant here in the middle, and then it'll show up here as well. With the Bluetooth, I know you do have more controls here as well, as far as seeing what's on your phone and whatnot. With the Apple CarPlay, you can answer with this button in the center screen. You can answer and decline, but that's pretty much all it gives you. So yeah. App Connect is your CarPlay and your Android Auto and your Mirror Link. These settings are just settings for the mobile devices. You can change which one you want to select. If you have both of them in the car at the same time and they're both connected, you can select which one. The sound, obviously these are just the sound settings. You have your equalizer, the positioning. So you could change this around to wherever you want to hear it more in the car. So if you have kids in the back and you just want to listen to whatever you're playing and don't want to disturb them in the back, just put it on you. If you want your passenger to hear it more, put it there. And then default, you just hit the middle right there. Then your volume. So you can adjust all your volumes for your different stuff. Voice operation, maximum startup volume. That's the volume that you want it to automatically, or actually it's not automatically, it's what it says, maximum startup volume. So if you had the volume at 30 before turning off the car, the next time you turn on the car, it'll go to whatever you have it set to. So you don't scare yourself basically the next time you get in the car if you forgot that you were listening to music very loud. Speed dependent volume increase. Now that's with your if I'm not mistaken, that is with your parking control, I think. Don't quote me on that. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's this one, audio lowering parking. This one is for when you're going in reverse or you're approaching something going in reverse or forward. It'll lower the volume so you could listen to the audible warning that it gives you. Speed dependent, I think I have an idea of what that is. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say because I don't want to give out any wrong information. And then voice guidance. That's, I believe, yes, this is if you have navigation. This doesn't have navigation. That's, I believe, on the SEL and up. So yeah, that's it for the volume settings. And that's pretty much it for all the sound settings. Telephone is obviously the same thing when you have it connected through Bluetooth. This is just the phone portion of it. Again, I don't know if there's any extra features in there because we don't use that, so I don't know if there's anything that's not common other than obviously basic features. Vehicle, it just will show you the status of it. So if there's something wrong, it'll show you in a list here, and it'll show you whatever's wrong or what needs to be checked and whatnot. So right now everything is fine, so it just says drive safely. This is to reset your tire pressures. So if you've set your tire pressures to all the same, you just hit this button and you hit confirm, and it resets the tire pressure monitoring system for you. And then back to vehicle status. So with all these pages, if as long as you see that little hand right here in the corner, you can use your hand and it'll change the page for you. What is in settings? Oh, yes. So this is the ECC system. This is the why am I drawing a blank? I'm completely drawing a blank of what it stands for again. ESC system. I'm drawing a blank right now. Brain fart. Anyway, those of you that know, you know. You can change the settings there. Tires, again, it'll just bring you to the monitoring system where you could reset the pressures, and then speed warning with winter tires. When you have winter tires on, of course, obviously the miles per hour does not work the same as when you have regular tires on, so that's the settings for that. Your lighting settings, light assist, so you have a ton of settings for all of that. It does have ambient lighting. You will see that in the night video. In the footwell, you can adjust the brightness. And then here's the instrument cluster and panel lighting. You can adjust the brightness there. Parking and maneuvering. This is to activate automatically. If you don't want it to activate automatically, you obviously turn that off. You can adjust the front sensor's volume and then the pitch of it to change the type of sound, so you can know just by listening if that's the front or the back. And then the same thing for the rear. the audio lowering is the same thing I just showed you in the sound settings, where you can adjust how you want the volume to go down or how much you want it to go down. If you have music on and you're changing gears or you're approaching something, it'll lower it. Maneuver braking and rear traffic alert. So that's when you're, you're parking and whatnot, and if you're approaching something, that's actually, if you're approaching an object, a wall or something of that nature, and the car senses that you're not stopping, if you're approaching it too fast and you're not stopping, it'll stop for you. And then the rear traffic is what I said earlier, is if something is approaching you and you're not stopping, it'll do the same thing. It'll stop for you. This is your mirror and wiper settings. Speaking of wipers, I did forget that it does have the sensors right there connected to the rear view mirror. It does have automatic wipers. So you can control all the settings for the wipers there. You could, if the front wipers are activated, obviously because it's raining, and you don't have your back wiper on, and then you go in reverse, the back wiper will turn on automatically as long as you're in reverse. And if you don't want that to happen, that's the setting right here to turn that off. Opening and closing settings. So convenience opening is if you want all windows to open and close at the same time. If you're using the button here on the driver's door, you could use it to open and close the windows without having the car on. Central locking is what I said in the beginning of the video, where you could choose to do a vehicle side, the single door, or all doors when you're unlocking the car. Easy open, I'm not sure what that is again. I would have to look back into that. And the central locking acoustic confirmation is the horn. It'll give you an audible warning that when you lock it, you'll hear it. Oops. Instrument cluster. This is all the information that was here in the middle. You can choose what you want to see and what you don't want to see up there. So information that you won't use, you could, take it out of there so you won't see it there in the middle. This is just to change the settings for the types of information it gives you. So for temperature, you change it to Celsius there. If you want kilometers, you change it there. Miles, you change it to kilometers there, and whatnot. And then service, it just gives you the information for your next service. So back to the menu. Assistant systems. This is pretty much what I showed you in the middle, where it'll show you all the breakdown of all your systems, and you could choose which one you want to look at and then change settings from there. This is the front assist, so I have it set to early. That's if you're approaching something that's, that is stopped. And if a car is in front of you and you were following it and it's slowing down but you're not, and then it comes to the car in front of you comes to a full stop, this is that setting right here. So you could change it to early, medium, late, or you could turn it off completely. I have it set to early because I'd rather be safe than sorry, and having it set to early is not how do I say it? It's not very sensitive having it on early. Here's your side assist. That's the brightness for the blind spot in the mirrors. I'm not sure if you can see it right there. You could adjust the brightness. I have it on full brightness, so that way you could even see it during the day. So go back. Climate control. Here you could set it, you can have it set to manual, auto, or off here as well. And then you can, all the settings that you have down here, you can do it here basically. I'm not gonna go through that because this video is already 39 minutes. This is the front. if you hit the rear, this is how you can control the rear from up here. This is where you lock and unlock the rear. Air care is a filtration system that they use, and it's actually pretty good. It's good to use if you're in the city and there's a lot of, you know, pollution and whatnot. You could use this to clean the air that's inside of the car, and they have done a video on it. It actually works pretty well. I've seen a video where they lit a cigarette in the inside of the car and they activated this, and the system cleared out most of that cigarette air, so you won't be, you know, smelling whatever is in the air and stuff that you even can't smell. It'll filter all that for you. So I like to use that, especially if you're in a long road trip and whatnot and you've been recirculating the same air. You could just use that and it'll clean out the air. So you activate that by hitting that button. I find that pretty cool. That was it for the climate control. Your settings, your typical screen, time and date, language and whatnot. You see it says Wi-Fi there. This does come equipped with Verizon Wi-Fi mobile hotspot. It does work pretty well as long as you're in an area where there's good service, like on your phone. It works just like a phone. As long as there's good service, it'll work really well, whether you're stopped or while you're driving. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. I'm not going to go through all those settings. And it says navigation there, but it's not equipped with navigation. Setup CarNet is, for those of you that don't know, you can control the car through the Volkswagen CarNet app. So you can unlock and lock it, remote start it. And there's your help and legal notices. That's pretty much it for that. And then your buttons right here along the side to get to all that stuff that I just showed you more quickly. Instead of having to go through there, you just hit whatever on the side, whatever you want to go to. Now, speaking of remote start, I did almost forget. I probably should have brought my mother's set of keys because she has the nicer one where it has stainless steel. But this one, it's just a regular black one. I have a cover on it. This is a aftermarket cover, obviously. But the remote start, you just hit the lock button twice, and then you hit this remote start twice, and it'll turn it on. And then the same thing if you were to if you want to turn it off after remote starting it, you just do the same thing where you just hit this twice, and it'll turn it off. This is your automatic trunk, and then this is obviously your unlocking button, and the panic alarm is there on the side right there. So yep, that's pretty much it. The glove box is a decent size. It is lit with an LED light. From factory, there's LED light throughout the whole car. There's your passenger side. These are the leatherette seats, so these aren't the real leather, but they're pretty good. The seats are very comfortable. We did drive this down from Pennsylvania. We did drive it down, and there was no complaints at all for any one of the people, whether it be the driver or the passengers. It was very comfortable the whole ride. So the seats are very comfortable. Here's your back door. Obviously this is aftermarket. You have the map pocket on both chairs. There's your controls in the back for your climate control. So as long as it's not locked up there up front, this does light up. I turned off the car. This does light up with, obviously the information you need to see, and you have the buttons here to control the climate control back here. Down here you have the Type-C ports right there, and then down here you have a 115 volt regular outlet. So I find that pretty cool. You could charge your laptop and stuff like that. Pretty much everything as far as materials follows through. Like things on the doors and stuff. You have the aluminum door handles there. You have storage in the door right here and down there with, you know, water bottles and whatnot, what you want to put in there. Now these chairs, if you have a car seat, whether it be one like this or one for a smaller child, you just use this. You can leave the car seat in there and it won't come out. You can push it up and gain access to the back. I think, what's going on here? I think I did it the wrong way. If you do it this way, it'll stay in the position that it's in and it'll just move forward. But if you wanted to do that same thing and also slide up, you grab it from here. So what I just did, I did it like this. If you grab it from here, it should slide up. Of course, it wants to prove me wrong, but I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, you guys get the gist of it. This whole thing will, apart from what it just did where it leaned forward, it'll slide up as well to give you even more space to get to the back. So you just step right there, and then you have access to the third row. The third row is pretty comfortable, even with these, the second row all the way back. I can definitely sit back there with the second row positioned like this. I could sit back here for definitely like a 30-minute ride. If anything over that, then I would need the second row to move up. And now I'm 5'9", so I'm not sure, I can't speak for obviously that somebody that's over 6 feet. Not sure how comfortable it would be for them. Pretty sure it won't be too terrible. But yes, you can fit adults back here. And all the materials follow through back here as well. You have cup holders. You have more storage on this side in the third row. And then you have 3 cup holders. And then over there you have the same 3 cup holders and then a little storage there. In case anybody is wondering, this right here, hold on, let me go back. This right there is for the cargo cover. Now we didn't get the cargo cover because we're always going to have the third row up, so there's no sense in getting it. But if you want that, that's where that goes. And if you were to want to put the cargo cover away, you can just put it under here. There's a opening on both sides, on this side and this side, where you could throw the cargo cover there. So actually, before I forget, let me show you guys. The SC with Tech, anything SE with Tech and up. So this is the SE with Tech R line. So starting with the regular Atlas SE with Tech, you just kick your foot under the bumper and it'll open the trunk. And then the button to close it is right here. Now obviously if you don't want to kick your foot under the bumper, you just use the button that's right here. You can see it right here next to the backup camera. So yeah, just to show you guys again, you just walk up, whether the car is locked or not. I noticed that it does not work if the car is on. So as long as the car is off, whether it's unlocked or not, you just kick your foot under the bumper and it'll open the trunk for you. So that's very convenient when your hands are full and you're coming out of the store or coming out of the house and you're bringing a lot of stuff with you and your hands are full. Just kick your foot under there and it'll open it up. Now the third row, pretty easy to fold. You just push the, oh well, I have this all the way up. You just hit the button right here to take it, to unlock it. Push this down. You grab this, throw that down, and that's the third row folded. So already with the third row up, there is, compared to the other vehicles that it competes with, this is definitely one of the bigger trunks with the third row up as well. There's still a decent amount of space even with that third row up. And to lift this back up, obviously this is the same thing for both chairs. I'm not gonna do it. Just take this tab and as long as you see this go down and you don't see the red part, that means it's all the way locked in. And then this has a Velcro on it. Just put it right there. And you have the hook, the top tethers for the car seats. You have it here, and then you have it in that and second row as well. You just can't see it because of the cover that's on it, obviously. So yep, this right here is just to put the seat belt here. Like if you have the third row down and you want to get the seat belt out of the way, you don't want it to get caught on anything, you just put that right there and it'll hold the seat belt back. Right here is storage. This is all stuff that it came with from the factory, and I just have it stuffed here because there is storage underneath the floor as well, but we already have that full with stuff, so I just have this right here. Underneath here is the cargo blocks, which is this right here. So it's very useful when you want stuff to stay in one place and not be sliding around while you're driving. So yes, the other ones are underneath there. That's your first aid kit and the roadside assistance kit. You have light on both sides. You have a 12 volt here as well. And then you have the net hooks right here. You want to put a net, and then this is a bag hook right here. This is where the cargo cover slides in. And yep, that's pretty much it. Actually, I didn't get in the third row, but this is pretty much what it would look like. Obviously you can see right there, which is very nice. You have a vent back here. You do obviously have the vents on the floors as well for the third and the second row, but it's nice that they put this vent back here for the third row. So that pretty much completes this video. I would appreciate if you guys like the video. Comment, let me know what you think. I tried my best not to make it long, but it is a detailed video, so it definitely was going to be over 30 minutes. Let me give you guys another walk around. And I'll end the video there. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Stay tuned, I might make more videos. I definitely am gonna make the night video of this, but I might make more videos, you know, on my car and on this one and maybe of others. So just stay tuned. Once again, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks again.